You beautiful castle with a wooden dome. My soft, leafy cradle. My only home.
Being home is scary. 2.5 years after I packed my things into the back of a van and moved from Britain to Croatia, for love and for fear, I'm returning loveless, lost, and more scared than ever. The Britain I left was a hostile place for trans people. The Britain I'm returning to is even more and much more acutely so. Even that aside, despite coming from somewhere I felt isolated to somewhere I know like the back of my hand, somewhere where my friends and family live, where I know so many people, I feel achingly lonely. Welcome to Park Maksimir in Zagreb, the capital city of Croatia, home to Zagreb Zoo, and a guy who was just there having a piss in front of half the city, even though we're literally like 10 meters from the public bathroom. So I assume he's there for a kink thing. I'm not here to shame him, but I didn't need to see that. This is my last full day in the former Yugoslav Republic of Croatia. I came here in 2023 from the UK, partially because I had a partner that was from here and they wanted to move back, but mostly because the UK, I found, was a very, very scary place for trans people, and I didn't feel very safe at all. And, you know, I cared a lot about that country and its politics. All my friends and my family are there. I've been involved in that stuff for a while. And it just sort of, for a while, it felt like I was sort of in a bit of an abusive relationship with my own country. Like, no matter how much you put in, you do everything they tell you to do. You try your best to, you know, try not to stand out, try not to offend people, try to do everything right, do the path, the careers they want, and every step they say, fuck you, not enough time to punish you. While I was there, I think I made the decision to leave just after Brianna Jai was murdered. And, you know, since I left, it's gotten so much worse. It's gotten way, way, way worse. We've had the bathroom ban, even though they've been delaying and doing the official implementation. It's been pseudo-implemented in a bunch of places because I left it so vague. They've had full puberty blockers ban, a lot of restrictions on adults taking hormones by certain practices, openly transphobic governments, oppositions, every fucking party, even the progressive parties have transphobes in them, despite what people might want us to believe. And then we had the Section 28 for trans people. Everyone's already stopped talking about that. They're acting like it doesn't exist. People don't care. It's scary. I mean, I wasn't around for original Section 28. I was still a twinkle in my father's balls. But, you know, I feel like the talk has already died down. People have forgotten about it. And people were, you know, I learned about Section 28 and I was horrified. And yet this just came through and no one gives a shit. It's really scary. But I'm going back. You know, the more I was away, the more I felt awful for not being there and doing something about it. And the other thing is, you know, I have community there, a community that I care about and I want to be around, family and friends. And frankly, my situation in Croatia was, well, let's just say it's parallel sort of what I thought my relationship with my country was. So not great. But, you know, I want to fight back. I wanted to fight back for a while. And I felt kind of stunted. I feel like I'd moved here. I moved here to be out of that stuff and be safe and, you know, try and build a new life away from all that. And what happened was that I left a foot back in Britain the entire time. And I never really stopped thinking about it, never stopped talking about it, never stopped caring about it, never stopped wanting to do something about it. And, you know, I've been doing more stuff about it recently, even from Croatia. So clearly I never stopped caring. Clearly I never got over it, if you want to go with metaphor still. And I think the argument to stay and fight didn't work on me when I didn't have a choice. I think now I'm actively choosing to do it. I feel like it's the right thing to do for me, not necessarily for everyone. I can't stand by and let these things happen. I can't just watch it from afar, knowing that this is my home and it's being, you know, torn to shreds for people like me. And with Farage on the horizon, it's going to get even fucking worse. And yet I'm coming back.
Abject terror. Survey shows 84% of trans people feel Britain is unsafe. An alarming 84% said Britain is fairly unsafe or very unsafe for trans people in a YouGov poll. This widespread sense of insecurity is rooted in the very real threat of significant, targeted harm that trans people can be exposed to simply by existing in public. Almost 2/3 of trans adults reported verbal abuse in public spaces, while nearly 1 in 4 said they have suffered physical violence. The survey also asked respondents about toilet access, which has become a toxic culture war battleground with a devastating impact on many trans people's lives. 49% of respondents said they found it difficult to access appropriate toilets when out in public. For Jesso Thompson, Good Law Project's trans lead, the survey reveals the stark reality of life in the UK. In recent months, many trans people have been living in abject terror, O'Thompson said. They are afraid of being harassed, outed, and discriminated against. It is appalling that nearly half of trans people report they are now finding basic toilet access difficult, despite the EHRC's claims that they are protecting people. The fact that only 14% of trans people feel safe in this country represents a devastating humanitarian crisis. The poll of 457 trans, non-binary and intersex adults in the UK adds to a growing body of evidence that the country is no longer safe for the community, which is estimated to make up less than 1% of the UK population. The UK has received international criticism for its rollback of trans rights, which includes Wes Streeting's permanent ban on puberty blockers and April's Supreme Court ruling. Earlier this month, Europe's human rights chief, Michael O'Flaherty, warned the UK against measures that would exclude trans people from many areas of life. 10 years after topping ILGA Europe's ranking for LGBTQ+ rights, the UK has plummeted to 22nd place out of the 49 countries listed, and the Lemkin Institute for Prevention has issued a red flag alert on UK trans and intersex rights.
The other thing is, every country has problems. Every country has its problems. And the UK is really fucked when it comes to trans people. But, you know, a lot of other countries are as well. And a lot of things are worse in different ways. I have the Nazi problem in this country is out of fucking control. And it baffles me, to be honest, that this country is cited as like the safe place where people feel most safe out of all of Europe, because oh my god, we had hooligans on our street screaming about how they're going to beat people up, to go around graffitiing swastikas and Ustasha crosses everywhere. There's Nazi graffiti all over this country, especially where I was just in, which was supposed to be like the left-wing part of the country. And no, it was horrendous. The hooligans are everywhere. They're out of control. They're they beat people up for speaking out against them. It's not a unique situation, but I think it gives you a little perspective on where you come from, seeing how other places differ. Like, this is a beautiful country, but it's also fucked in some ways too. You know, the UK's fucked as well, and a lot of parts of it aren't beautiful, but a lot of parts of this country aren't beautiful either. Everything has its good sides and its bad sides, every place. There's no place you can run to and be free from bigotry. At least not right now. I mean, I've not been to Cuba. But maybe that says something about me. Maybe I'm a coward. Maybe I'm the opposite. Maybe I just... What I think the truth is I need community. I need a strong community. And I had that back home, and I don't have it here. And the other thing is, I don't like to sit on the sidelines. Apparently, I want to be on the front line. This could work out very badly for me. But nonetheless, I want to try.
Last month's mega gig by the ultra-nationalist singer Thompson, the stage name of Marko Perkovic, has dramatically exposed the polarised divisions deep within Croatian society. Nobody would argue that the concert was anything other than huge. Thompson's management claimed that more than 500,000 tickets for the show at Zagreb Hippodrome were sold. That enormous crowd enthusiastically joined in when Thompson launched into his opening number, Chavoglave Battalion, to his cry of "Za dom spremni." MPs from the governing HDZ party were among those chanting along. The chant has outraged opposition parties and organisations working for human rights and ethnic and regional reconciliation. They point out that "Za dom spremni" originated with the anti-Semitic Nazi-allied Ustasha organisation during World War II, and that Croatia's constitutional court has ruled that the phrase is an Ustasha salute of the independent state of Croatia, which is not in accordance with the constitution of the Republic of Croatia. You've now got politicians in parliament screaming "Za dom spremni" on the streets. Kids are singing not only that song, but other songs Thompson used to sing, which glorify mass crimes in World War II. The government is creating an atmosphere when this is a positive thing. It is creating a wave of nationalism, which could explode into physical violence. The government has in fact downplayed the chanting at the concert. Prime Minister Andrej Plenković described it as part of Thompson's repertoire, and posed for a photo with the singer the day before the Zagreb gig. Croatian President Zoran Milanovic condemned the violent disruption on Monday night of a folk performance held as part of the Days of Serbian Culture in Split, Croatia's second largest city. The event was marred when a group of 50 men dressed in black and in balaclavas stormed the venue and threatened both performers and spectators. Eyewitnesses reported that they shouted the slogan "Za dom spremni," a salute used by the Nazi-allied Ustasha regime in Croatia during World War II. Shortly after the incident, the news outlet Novosti posted 2 videos from the scene on its YouTube channel. In one, a man can be heard telling attendees to leave, claiming that no one will be harmed, while another video shows a participant shouting "Serbian trash." This was a folk performance by a children's dance group and a retirees choir. It's especially disturbing that, as seen in the footage, the participants were practically negotiating the safe exit from the building as if they were hostages.
There's a famous Croatian kids book called, well, the title translates to, and it's called in English, Hedgehog's Home, by Branko Chopic. And the story basically goes that there's a hedgehog, and he doesn't want to go anywhere with any of the other woodland animals. He just likes his home too much. And the woodland animals, hearing about how great this hedgehog's home is, all go to see it. And it turns out they don't see anything special. In fact, they're surprised he wants to be there at all.
How can you like this ugly hole? Your miserable shack is worn out and old.
But to the hedgehog, that's his home. It's perfect. It's worth protecting and preserving. You could read this in some yikesy ways, but you could also read it in some nice ways. And when I think about that little kid's story, I think about my strained relationship with Great Britain. Despite it being, in some parts quite broken and dull and run down, nature completely depleted in most areas, poverty everywhere, homelessness, horrible to trans people and immigrants and everyone I care about. It's still my home, and I still care about it, and it still matters to me. It's still weirdly special to me, despite everything wrong about it, and there's a lot wrong about it. I think it's hard to be objective when it comes to, where you grew up, where you have community and family, where you picture yourself when you close your eyes, where you dream about, where you picture yourself in the future, where you picture yourself growing old. I realized 6 months ago, I think I always knew this a little bit deep down, that, almost saw me fall over, that I couldn't picture myself growing old in Croatia with, someone that didn't necessarily share my goals for the future or at all, and that sometimes our relationship could be quite strained, with no family around me, with maybe one friend, two, depending on what's happening. I don't want to live like that. And I asked, I think, my partner at the time what they thought of the future, where they pictured themselves. And they basically had the same idea of where they wanted to live as where we were. They just wanted to be where they were. No real sense of anything more, no big community, no family, no bustling people around you, no a dog, which is something, but I need more than that. I need community, I need family, I need friends, and I need to be home. But I also need to be fighting there. I'm sick of being on the sidelines. I don't want to just watch as things get worse and worse for, all the people I care about. It feels like cheating. And also, it feels like I put my life on pause, in a way. And after a while, especially with the nature of the relationship I partially left the country for, it started to feel like, what have I given all this up for? And I know what I did. I know why I did it. I didn't feel safe, but I don't feel safe here either, in a much more acute way. And I think we have a chance of winning back home. I think we can and we should fight back. And I don't want to just be sitting over there, sort of wishing I was in it. I got homesick every few weeks. That was a sign, It's not perfect, but it's home.
After I got my PhD, having lived in a few different cities, I used to, because I can be extremely pretentious, compare being home to the place I grew up, to the way Frodo feels at the end of Lord of the Rings. The world is as it should be. It should feel like home. But I've changed. I don't fit any longer. My place is elsewhere. I no longer feel that way. During the pandemic and in my years out of the country, I realized more and more that what I need, more than anything, is community. That should be obvious, right? Humans are social animals. We need regular interaction with other people, and a close-knit group of people we can rely on. I missed my community here. I miss my family, I miss my friends, but I miss my home itself as well. The people, the food, the way people greet each other, the way the trees line the river and become a sea of leaves in autumn, the colour of a hearth fire. I never lost my sense of connection to the people's history and mythology too, from the Luddites to the tales of Robin Hood. The more I was away, the closer I felt to the place I'd left. It's strange, knowing the absolute state your home is in, the hell of a struggle needed to turn it into a place where me and people like me feel safe and free in, and yet feeling the pull, the urge to come back, to be there, in that struggle.
It's easy, I think, it was easier to try and intellectualize why you're leaving somewhere. To try and make it seem like there's a rational reasons behind it, and to some extent there is. But part of the truth is as well that I came here partially to get away from these things, but I also partially came for love. And now that love is over. And that's part of it too. And there's no intellectualizing that. There's no trying to find some sort of reasonable cause that connects to some sort of higher, loftier goal. It just sucks. It is what it is. And yeah, maybe it should have been over a long time ago, but it wasn't. If I had known it would end, how it would end up, maybe I wouldn't have come here at all. Maybe even with all of that stuff going on, I would have tried to tough it out, but I had the opportunity to go. And I wanted to make things work. And this adds to the other big feeling I have about this that I guess I haven't really touched on. And that's fear. I'm really scared. I'm scared about the state of the country I'm going back to. I'm scared about what's going to become of it in a few years, especially if the polls right now turn out to be how things go at the next election. But I'm scared, selfishly, I guess, about what's going to happen to me, about just being alone. I'm an overweight trans woman who's single in my mid-30s. I'm not exactly the biggest catch. And I know there's people out there for everyone. I'm not saying that it'll never happen, but when you're in when this stuff is fresh, it does feel like, who the fuck's gonna want me? My friends back home, they have, in the time I've had, 3 different lives. Being an academic, going and being a YouTuber overseas, they've had, most of them now are married with 2 kids, and I love that for them. It does feel like I'm left behind a little bit, and that's fine. It is, people have different paths, but what if this is it? what if this is it? What if, after all this, after everything I've tried, I just end up alone in a country that falls to fascism? No one to come home to at the end of the day, no one to... We all get like this. I know it's not unique, but the fear of this combined with the fear of the future and the fear of, you know, the environment that I left and the reason that I left becoming more of a material reality, it does make things seem very intimidating. It doesn't help that all this stuff is happening well. I'm probably going to have to get another job to supplement my income as well. Thanks YouTube for changing the algorithm just before this happened, just when I thought I was about to, you know, be okay from this. But, you know, I shouldn't feel like this. I'm so lucky to have the people I have. And I don't just mean like my family and friends. I am lucky to have them. I'm lucky to be going back to a community that cares for me. Even didn't stop while I was away. But also for you guys. And for the people, you know who you are, who did really help me those last couple of months. I'm really glad I managed to touch people. And that, you know, to have people say that your work matters, the stuff you put out there matters, that's life-changing. I wouldn't change that for the world. I wish I paid more. But I don't think that's a unique opinion among people in my field. I'm sure all my colleagues would agree. Yeah, the world looks scary. With any luck, I'll look back on this in a year, 2 years, 3 years and think, what a fucking fool she was. That everything's fine. That I was worrying over nothing. That home is a safe place. That got over the fucking madness of the 2020s. That I'm not alone. People do love me. That there is someone there who cares. That I can stand on my own 2 feet without, you know, getting to mid-30s of the PhD and starting again was fine. It was fine.
Hey, thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. If you liked it, give it a like, leave a comment, subscribe, share it with all your friends and tell everyone about it. Help me out if you can. It's coming up to autumn where my birthday is. It's in October, so I'm pushing to get my Bridget Empire out of her overdraft before her birthday initiative. That didn't make grammatical sense, but you get it, which will inevitably probably extend to the Get Bridget Empire out of her overdraft before Christmas initiative. So if you want to help with this and get me debt-free before 34, you can give me one-time donations on Coffee or PayPal, links below. You can go to my fourth wall page, which has some shirts on it now, if you like a shirt. It's got a Daily Telegraph on it. I'll put some on screen now. And if I didn't, it means that I forgot to do that. So hopefully I didn't forget to do that. Also, help me out if you can. 'Tis the season, and by season I mean my birthday. And also I'm going through some pretty bad personal stuff, which is making me very sad and means I might need a big lump of money in the future. So if you can help me gather that lump of money, I'd really help, as well as the get out of the overdraft thing. So just in general, things might be looking pretty dire for a little bit, but yeah, if you can't help, don't feel bad about that. But if you can, do. Or the best way to do that is to sign up to my Patreon or YouTube memberships, where you can do the best thing that you want me to do. You can be my best friend, and by best friend I mean my patron. You can get early videos, access to the members only Discord, my Nintendo Switch friend code, and exclusive content such as long form interviews. And also, you get your name read out at the end of each video, just like these lovely people. Buried Elk, Ewan Bennett, Bags, Malcolm, Gina Service, You Are Made of Stupid, Tomo, Melissa Jackson, Ren approves your stuff, Minstrel of course, Emma not Emma, Jeffreyon, Tom the not quite so brave as Sir, Lancelot, LFR, Tricoi, Proquar, Ariella, Robin Thomas, Kathy 1410 Itchy, Justice for my boy Gandalf, Gull Escape, Kira B, No Sparkling Heart, Corey, Gianna J, Mighty than the Sword, Carolyn, Imogen Q, Luciana Frias Andrade, Adam, Harry, Endog191, Cav, Quesadilla de Tortilla, Zul, Leron, Adam Lees, Daniel Nevels, no not that Paul, MB, Wandering Wonder, Lex Phoenix, Enter Kurzitz, Mira D, J Senior, Boa Ear, James W, Marvin Dorr, Foreign Guild, Deborah Laboon, Zilla's Athenaeum, Vince Whitaker, Amelia Lassette, Jason Haig, Frank McManus, Susan Foster, Helena Real, Sierra Whiskey, Ali Catgill, John N, Lloyd Luciente, Jason Cribbett, Shield Baden, Robin Podolsky, Nightlife, Plushy Jesus, Casual Observer, Manta Ray, Courtney Burmack, Sleepy Sled, Phil Brugger, Soa Piglet, Brain Douche, Artie Wolf, Greg Noble, Dan McMillan, Karen Regalado, Alexandra Lilly, PJ Lisbrough, Howard Lott, Neranius Guardian, and Jade Luciferian, Taraxis Builds Things, and Sarah Francesca Smith. Thank you all so much. Have a great day and a great life, and yeah. Check in on your people, because sometimes things are hard and they need a hug. I need a hug.
Welcome to Franjo Tuđman Airport in Zagreb, named after someone who was on and country war, perhaps. Nonetheless, he's also the first president of the Republic of Croatia, so not surprised they named it after him, I suppose. He also was a big statue in the city, and unique among people like that. I've not talked to a single person in the entire country who doesn't think he was a piece of shit, including nationalists. It's been interesting. You know, I came feeling pretty unsafe about all the stuff that was happening. But while I was here, despite the noise about trans stuff not being so loud, every time I went outside, there's a guy on my street with literal swastika tattoos. I would see him every day, and people just interact with him like it's normal. Where I was staying in the city just now, there was 1488 and swastika and Ustasha cross on the wall, all that stuff everywhere. I had a massive argument before I left with one of my friends here because she refused to accept that a Nazi symbol is a Nazi symbol. It is a very strange place in that regard. But there are problems. There are problems with everything, but, you know, going outside and seeing basically a symbolised threat every day, very difficult. I mean, you see that in the newspapers in Britain as well, on the TV. It's different seeds of the same problem, both fascism, both expressed differently. Both calls for minorities to get the boot. So in the end, it's not a question of going safe, but going where you feel you can feel most comfortable. So this is goodbye. Not to you, but to this. Bit of more safe. Let's go.